be your undoing. This one once again on the pads and played away slightly straighter towards deepish mid-wicket. This time just the one for Rohit. Move to 4 and Rahul on 5 will now take strike to 9 without loss are India. Remember, England winning the toss and putting India into bat. And as we heard at the toss, it's a cool evening. No chance of rain, or at least no threat of rain immediately. And a lot of swing on offer. We saw Ben Stokes swinging the ball. And we've seen Chris Woke. He is a swinger, a guy who gets the ball to swing quite prolifically. As we see now, Rahul surveying the field, looking at where the fielders are positioned. As here goes Wokes. Longish run up, comes in and bowls. That's a slightly short of length and pushed away outside the body and out, caught behind there. And Chris Wokes strikes first, and exactly the point that you were making. Early wickets are going to be the undoing, and this will be one of the themes of the Indian batting so far in T20 World Cup.
बिल्कुल ठीक कहा आपने, क्योंकि आपने देखा कि राहुल साधारणतः शुरुआत जब करते हैं उनके पैर का मूवमेंट वैसा होता नहीं, ऑफ स्टंप के हल्की सी बाहर थी और गेंद के पीछे आने के बजाय अपनी जगह खड़े खड़े उन्होंने उसे पुश करने की कोशिश की. बाहरी किनारा लगा और सीधी विकेट कीपर के खिलाफ पहला विकेट गिर गया. अच्छी शुरुआत नहीं रही भारत के लिए, इंग्लैंड के लिए बढ़िया शुरुआत. 5 पर आउट हुए राहुल. तो भारत शुरुआत से दबाव में पड़ गया है.
Yeah, but again, you see, he put a little more shoulder into that ball. A little bit more than he thought it would, Rahul. He couldn't get his bat out of the way, tried to guide it down towards third man, and Jos Buttler had to leap to his right and high to pick up that ball. But at the end of the day, a very good wicket, because all the balls so far have been length and moving way outside the off stump or on the pads, slightly shorter and rose a bit more than Rahul expected. But there you are, you've got to outthink the batsman, and that's exactly what Chris Wokes did. So Virat Kohli, who's been the talk of the tournament, and this one is played away very nicely off his toes, but straight to mid-on, picked up by Jordan, and then practices a shot that he would like to have played in that delivery. And you can see that replay of shortest delivery we've seen so far. Couldn't get his bat over the ball, and Jos Buttler taking a very good catch, leaping away to his right like a goalkeeper. And KL Rahul back in the hutch for India. Not the best start, you say, for India, but exactly what you were saying. You put India in, picking up at least 2 wickets in the power play. One's down, the next one is played away just short of Jordan by Virat Kohli. He picks up his first run. At the end of 2 overs then, India 10 for the loss of 1 wicket. Virat on 1 and Rohit Sharma the other on 4.
10 रन बने हैं. शुरुआत काफी सहमी हुई नजर आ रही. देखिए, शुरुआत के पावर प्ले का वक्त है और आप एक विकेट जल्दी खो देते हैं, जिसकी कि काफी अंदेशा था कि भारतीय ओपनिंग जुड़ी एक बड़ी भागीदारी जमाने में असफल हो रही है. और हमने देखा इस पूरे विश्व कप में ये भारत की एक समस्या रही. लेकिन इस बार भी ये बड़ा मुकाबला है, सेमीफाइनल का मुकाबला है, और इसमें अगर केएल राहुल का विकेट गति से गिर गया है तो इसका मतलब ये है कि आपको फिर से एक भागीदारी जमानी पड़ेगी. जो नुकसान हुआ उसकी मरम्मत का कार्य करने की कोशिश करनी पड़ेगी और भारतीय टीम ये प्रयास करना पड़ेगा. विराट कोहली आए हैं जिनके बारे में जानते हैं कि वो क्या कर सकते हैं, लेकिन हमेशा ध्यान रखना चाहिए क्रिकेट एक गेंद का खेल है और वो गेंद कब आ जाती आप कह नहीं सकते. आप पर दबाव है, बहुत बड़ी जिम्मेदारी है. विराट कोहली इतने अनुभवी खिलाड़ी हैं और उनके सामने रोहित शर्मा हैं जिनका बल्ला बहुत दिनों से चल नहीं रहा, लेकिन ये कोहली सामना कर रहे हैं. खूबसूरत ऑफ स्टंप की लाइन में टप्पा खाने के बाद बाहर की तरफ निकाली. परिवर्तन के तौर पर करन को बॉलिंग गया है और आते ही उन्होंने प्रभाव जमाया. लेफ्ट आर्म बॉलर के सामने विराट कोहली को थोड़ी परेशानी होती है और इनका पीछा करने की कोशिश की थी. बाहर की तरफ निकली उनके सहारे कट होकर और गेंद को बहुत ही लेंथ पर रख रहे हैं, बिल्कुल सही इलाके में पिच कर रहे हैं. ये उनकी विशेषता है करन की. विराट कोहली जो अब तक अच्छे फॉर्म में है, यहाँ पर एक बार फिर से उसकी अपेक्षा बाहरी किनारा लगा. बहुत ही किस्मत वाले रहे, पहले स्लिप के आगे की तरफ गिर गई. ये बहुत ही नर्वस तरीके का स्ट्रोक था. गेंद न पीछे आए, केवल बल्ला अड़ा दिया. आश्चर्य हुआ मुझे जिस तरह से खेले.
Once again, there was a little more bounce there from Sam Curran. Now he's not as quick as Chris Wokes or as Ben Stokes, and that's why the ball looped in the end, dropped just in front of Moeen Ali at slip, but so lucky. Twice he's been flirting outside the off stump, once didn't get the nick, once got the nick and dropped short. Let's see what happens. This one is spattered away just to the left of point and picks up a single, gets himself off strike. I think what we've seen so far has not really given the Indian fans there too much confidence that the Indian batsmen have been playing, except for that first delivery which was hit away for four, and that was wide outside the off stump, deserved to be hit. I think England have had slightly the upper hand in the way that they've been bowling, and the Indians have been batting. We've seen so many plays and misses outside the off stump. Does not look good so far.
और जैसा कि हमने पहले भी देखा था, उछाल भारतीय बल्लेबाजों को परेशान कर रहा है। स्विंग को तो वो सामना कर सकते हैं, लेकिन उछाल में मुश्किल पड़ती है। ऑफ साइड में खेला एक्स्ट्रा कवर की तरफ बिना किसी रन के, और रोहित शर्मा के ऊपर बहुत बड़ी जिम्मेदारी, निगाहें उनके ऊपर है। वो कप्तान है टीम के, अभी तक उस तरह की बल्लेबाजी कर नहीं पाए जिसके लिए वो जाने जाते हैं, लेकिन यहाँ पर मौका है। और किंग कोहली, लोग यहाँ पर काफ़ी बैठे हुए हैं और किंग कोहली लिखकर बैठे हैं। लोग चाहते हैं एक बार फिर से अच्छा प्रदर्शन करें। ये अगली गेंद थी और बिल्कुल ऑफ मिडिल स्टंप पर बहुत ही अच्छी जगह पर वो गेंद को पिच करा रहे हैं और रन बनने की संभावनाओं को खत्म कर रहे हैं। और आज चलाने के लिए जगह नहीं दे रहे। देखिए T20 क्रिकेट में ये बहुत ज़रूरी होता है। और सेमीफाइनल और फाइनल में विराट कोहली का जो रिकॉर्ड है, 72 रन बनाए थे 2014 में नॉट आउट दक्षिण अफ्रीका के खिलाफ, सेमीफाइनल श्रीलंका के खिलाफ 2014 में 77 रन बनाए थे, बांग्लादेश के खिलाफ एशिया कप 2016 में 41 रन बनाए थे। और यहाँ पर ऑन साइड में खेलने की कोशिश की, अपील जोरदार लेग बिफोर की, नॉट आउट कहा अंपायर ने। धर्मसेना अंपायर हैं और ये DRS टाइमर शुरू हो रहा है। वो आपस में बात कर रहे हैं, लेकिन DRS नहीं लिया, शायद लेग स्टंप के बाहर टप्पा खाई थी, अन्यथा बीट पूरी तरह से हो गए।
Yes, it was slower than he expected, Rohit Sharma, and he was through the shot before the ball came onto his pads. I think it was a little high as well, and there was absolutely, I think, no doubt in Dharmasena's mind that that ball was going to miss the stumps. Once again, just the one run in the third over of the power play. India are at 11 for 1, going at 4 runs and over. And certainly now England have got one hand on the throat of India so far, because the way that India have been playing, it's not just the runs, the way that India have been playing has actually displayed a lack of confidence in their abilities. Now, one of the things that you need to do, Sushil, in a situation like this is take the attack to the bowlers. You've got to be able to say, we're going to impose ourselves upon you, put the pressure back on England. Right now, England have put the pressure solely, completely on India.
अभी आत्मविश्वास की थोड़ी कमी दिखाई दे रही है, लेकिन थोड़ा समय गुजारने की ज़रूरत है। जब विकेट पर समय गुजारते हैं, पिच उछाल और रफ्तार का जायजा होता है। और इस बार उठा दिया है ऑफ साइड में, कोहली ने खूबसूरती के साथ 6 रन के लिए कवर के ऊपर से। क्या बढ़िया स्ट्रोक थे, जितनी प्रशंसा की जाए कम। ये कहते हैं ना कि आप कहीं भी रहे थे कि विरोधी के खेमे में भगदड़ मचाने की कोशिश करनी चाहिए और आक्रमण को विरोधी की गली में ले जाने की कोशिश करनी चाहिए। वही किया, आगे निकले और उठाया। बॉटम हैंड का बहुत ही खूबसूरत उपयोग, और कब ऊपर से देखते ही देखते गेंद बाउंड्री लाइन के बाहर 6 रन के लिए।
Yeah, thank you for describing so well that first delivery of the 4th over. India then moving on 17 for 1, exactly what I had said needed to be done. This time slightly short of length, played away square of the wicket, going away down towards deep backward square leg, just for the single. Thought about 2, but in quickly off the boundary was the fielder and kept the scoring 1. So Virat moves on to 9. That was an excellent shot, going onto the back foot and then forward and lofting the ball, as we've seen so often during the course of this tournament. Extension of the arms and over extra cover for 6. That's the type of thing that you have to do to be able to put the pressure back on England. First 3 overs, I would say, were completely England. And now India 18 for 1 win, the 4th over already. So remember, just 2 more overs of the power play after this, and it remains to be seen how India attempt those. This one played away off his pads. Once again, very ungainly looking shot there from Rohit Sharma, who's normally so elegant in the way that he bats and really has more talent, I think, inborn talent than most batsmen across the world. That he's been woefully out of form. Here's a good chance for him to find it. India moving on to 19 for 1 with that single, and will be Chris Stokes now. The Adelaide Oval filling up, and of course it's a sea of blue. Whenever India play any part of the world, you will find a sea of blue. Here goes Stokes then. And he's bowling to Kohli, and Kohli dabs that away towards short mid-wicket, picked up by Jordan, and there is no run. He's on 9, so no Indian batsmen so far coming at the end of the fourth over have reached double figures, and then haven't reached the 20s, so really going behind the 8 ball, as you can see, as you can understand. The loss of KL Rahul in the second over, and bowled by Chris Woakes, I think put India on the back foot firmly. And now it's time for Virat and Rohit, two of the most experienced batsmen in the world in any format, to take the attack to England. Here goes Woakes, comes in and bowls, and this one wide on the leg side will be called a wide. Yes, an India tick on. That's the first extra, if I can recall. Yes, thanks, Jatin. So that's the other thing, Sushil. The importance of not allowing too many extras in a game. As we've seen, there are fine margins in some of the results in this particular World Cup. And Virat Kohli, of course, going from strength to strength in all the records that he's been making. Got a very interesting stat here from Manoj Kumar. Rahul in T20 World Cups versus top-ranked teams. Let's come back on that. Here goes Woakes. And this one is played away. It was a slow delivery, played away quietly off his pads down to deep mid-wicket. And they pick up his single. Finally into double figures is an Indian batsman. Virat is on 10, India on 21 for 1. And no bowling extras by Pakistan yesterday. So really a disciplined command performance yesterday. That's what I think we will see, and we'll bring some interesting stats to you about what happened in 1992, the same venue, Australia or Pakistan. But we shall now wait for the next delivery from Woakes. And this one tries to get onto his knee and pull that ball away. Once again, the slightly slow delivery gets the bottom of the bat. Very lucky there, because if it had hit the pads, I think he might have been well all the way back to the pavilion. But the stat I wanted to read out just got from Manoj Kumar. Rahul in T20 World Cup versus top-ranked teams. 3 versus Pakistan in Dubai, 18 versus New Zealand in Dubai, 4 versus Pakistan in Melbourne, 9 versus South Africa at Perth, and 5 versus England today at Adelaide. So you can just, he's not the man who's really making the mark for in the semi-finals.
This commentary is brought to you by All India Radio in association with Channel 2, exclusive audio global right holders.
अब 21 रन एक विकेट के नुकसान पर 4 ओवर्स पूरे हो चुके हैं. रनों की रफ्तार अभी कम है. करण बॉलिंग कर रहे हैं और ये थोड़ी शॉर्ट थी. बैकफुट पर जाकर कलाई का उपयोग किया. मिड विकेट विराट कोहली 11 रन पर खेल रहे हैं और ऐसे खिलाड़ी हैं कि बॉलर्स को अपने ऊपर हावी होने देना नहीं चाहते. उनकी कोशिश रहती है कि वो आक्रमण को विरोधी की गली में या उसके खेमे में ले जाकर धकेल दे. और वैसे भी देखा जाए तो विराट कोहली, रोहित शर्मा, लोकेश राहुल और सुरेश रैना इससे 4 भारतीय बल्लेबाज हैं जिन्होंने क्रिकेट के तीनों प्रारूपों में शतक लगाए. ओवर पिच थी, कलाई का उपयोग किया और ऑन साइड में मिड ऑन और मिड विकेट के बीच में से 4 रन. क्या बढ़िया स्ट्रोक है, बहुत ही बढ़िया टाइमिंग, और ये इसको बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस, बहुत विश्वास देगा रोहित शर्मा को, और भारतीय तिरंगे झंडे सभी दूर लहराते हुए देखे जा सकते हैं.
Yeah, I was just about to say that Rohit needs a release shot. He's been really playing well within himself, and this one too, his bat twisting in his hand, but able to get it over Chris Woakes there at mid-wicket and down to the boundary for 4. So it was not perhaps the best shot, but I think something that will ease his mind. Moves on to India 26 for 1.
ये इस बार आगे निकल कर आए और इस बार बहुत ही किस्मत वाले, वो बिल्कुल जिसको कहते हैं प्री डिटरमिन्ड शॉट. पहले मिड ऑन और मिड विकेट के बीच में से काफी देर तक हवा में थी. मिड विकेट पर फील्डर था, मिड ऑन पर फील्डर था, लेकिन ये गेंद दोनों के बीच में से और थोड़ी ऊपर की तरफ भी चली गई. फिर 4 रन.
I think it was an excellent shot, really. Now, this one he was in control. He knew what he wanted to do. Yes, it was predetermined. He knew what he wanted to do and was able to execute it. I thought that was really well done. I think, as I said, the earlier one was his release shot. It just opened up his mind. And I think, hopefully, for India's sake, you'll see a different Rohit Sharma. This one slashed away down towards deep point in the air and parried away by the man at deep point in the air. Could have been a catch, but it would have been a magnificent catch had it been taken by Harry Brook, fielding at point. Nevertheless, it is a life, a half life, I would say, a quarter life for Rohit Sharma, because it is a hit with absolute venom and diving away to his right line. The goalkeeper parried the ball, as you would say, around the bar and stopped 4 runs. That much I'll say. If he did take the catch, it was an excellent effort there. But you can see Rohit Sharma now is on the attack, and I think that's absolutely the right way for him to go.
हाँ, लेकिन खुद ही वो कहते हैं मान लो कि वो ठीक नहीं हो रहा और यहाँ पर लेग स्टंप के बाहर निश्चित रूप से, हालांकि अपील जरूर की कुर्रन ने ये और कोहली पैड पर लगी, हालांकि रहे हैं अब, लेकिन आत्मविश्वास नहीं दिखाई दे रहा है। डीआरएस टाइमर शुरू हो गया है, कीपर बात कर रहे हैं और लगता नहीं कि डीआरएस लिया जा सकेगा, लेकिन नहीं लिया और ये गेंद निश्चित रूप से लेग के बाहर थी और इसी कारण विकेट कीपर सही व्यक्ति होता है जो इसकी पहचान कर लेता है कि लाइन क्या थी गेंद की, क्या स्टंप्स की लाइन में गेंद पड़ी थी, और करण ने भी इशारा किया कि नहीं भाई शायद ये लेग स्टंप के बाहर थी और विराट कोहली भी आश्चर्य के साथ देख रहे, अगली गेंद ये ऑफ स्टंप के बाहर थी और हल्का सा बैक का मुंह खोला, बैकवर्ड पॉइंट की तरफ खेला। वो 5 ओवर समाप्त हुए, 5 ओवर्स के बाद स्कोर है 31 रन, 1 विकेट के नुकसान पर भारत, जबकि टॉस जीता था इंग्लैंड ने और भारत को पहले बल्लेबाजी के लिए आमंत्रित किया था।
Yeah, it was a slow delivery, and that's what beat Virat Kohli. We've seen a couple of slow ones already from Chris Woakes and Sam Curran as he tried to play it onto the onside. It was well outside the leg stump, so there was really no issue. Last 2 overs, of course, India now have picked up 20 runs, so really getting a move on. So 2 excellent boundaries in the previous over from Rohit Sharma. The interesting thing about Pakistan and the 92 World Cup, they said so many parallels with what is taking place right now in the 2022 T20 World Cup. Of course, the 1992 World Cup was the 50-over format. In the league phase, Pakistan lost to the West Indies at Melbourne by 10 wickets, then beat Zimbabwe by 53 runs. No result versus England, and they were all out for 74 in that particular game. Lost to India by 43 runs, lost to South Africa by 20 runs, then beat Australia, beat Sri Lanka, and then of course it was history, beating New Zealand in the semi-final. The next one has been clubbed away by Rohit Sharma over the square leg field, over the square leg umpire, with Adil Rashid now coming into the attack. So spin for the first time in the power play and 4 runs. So Rohit Sharma, as I said, really on the attack. The slog sweep over the square leg umpire. Nobody there at deep backward square leg. Remember, only 2 fielders allowed outside the 30-yard circle. There was none behind square on the onside. So 4 runs. 35 for 1 is India. The next one again swept, but this time it was a slow delivery, just 87 clicks, and stopped well by Sam Curran, diving way to his right. It wasn't in the air, it was all along the ground, but having to dive away and stop that ball, I thought that was a very, very good stop. And just coming back to Pakistan and beat New Zealand at Christchurch by 7 wickets. That's what they did yesterday. And this one is the googly and off the back foot, but straight to Moeen Ali at extra cover by Rohit, and there is no run. So the issue is that you've got the 4. Now, are you able to keep the momentum going by picking up a few singles? The next 2 deliveries, dot balls, and that's what India have to try and eliminate from their game, the amount of dot balls that they play. This one is driven up to long off quietly, and they literally stroll a single as India move on to 36 for 1. Rohit is on 19, Virat on 11. After that magnificent 6 over extra cover, the bowling of Chris Woakes is now taken slightly a back seat to what Rohit Sharma has been doing. And here goes Adil. It's wide outside the off stump. Once again the googly and played away off the back foot. Tried to hit it slightly squarer, but went straight to a long off. Picks up a single, moves on to 12. So a bit of a stop-start power play, Sushil, so far. 37 for 1 coming up to the last delivery of the power play. I think one of those psychological things is, can you get over 40 in the power play? It's not the best score, but you only lost 1 wicket, so India pick up those 3 or 4 runs to get them over 40 in the power play. One of those small things. This one again in the air. He tried to drive it towards deep point. The ball again was the googly. Past Rashid. I think that might have been a catch, Sushil. Particularly even Stevens in the power play so far. India 38 for 1, and only the 1 wicket, India will say, and only 38 runs, England will say.
नहीं बिल्कुल, दोनों तरफ से एक तरह से मैं समझता हूँ फिर भी इंग्लैंड संतुष्ट होगा क्योंकि उन्होंने बल्लेबाजों को रोक रखा है। ये बहुत ही तेज तर्राट बल्लेबाज हैं दोनों जो खेल रहे हैं इस समय के। आप केएल राहुल का विकेट जल्दी झटका लिया था, ये उनकी सफलता रही। और उसके बाद रोहित भी आत्मविश्वासी नजर नहीं आ रहे। उनके जो स्ट्रोक्स जरूर लगे, लेकिन वो पहले से प्री डिटरमिन्ड, पहले से सोच लेते हैं कि आगे बढ़कर मुझे मारना ही है, तो ऐसे स्ट्रोक्स खेल रहे हैं। तो इसमें कई बार जोखिम भी हो रहा और कई बार कैच भी, जैसे हमने देखा एक पॉइंट पर कैच के हाथ से चला गया था और वहाँ पर ब्रुक के हाथ से कैच छूट गया। और विराट कोहली भी कुछ लगातार कोशिश कर आक्रामक स्ट्रोक्स खेलने की, वो ओवर बीतते जाते हैं। पहली गेंद तय ओवर की, ऑफ स्टंप के बाहर थे, लिविंगस्टन को लाया गया है, हर बार अदला बदली की जा रही है। और जो गूगली गेंद करते हैं, इतनी स्पिन नहीं हो रही, हल्की सी अंदर आई, उनकी गूगली उतनी स्पिन हो नहीं रही है। और इस बार लिविंगस्टन की एक गेंद मिडिल और ऑफ स्टंप पर थी और धीरे से पुश की ऑफ साइड में डीप मिड ऑफ की तरफ गेंद वहाँ पर फील्ड किया गया, 1 रन। और जो कैच की तरह चला गया था, सीधा बॉलर ने, हालांकि मिड ऑफ की तरफ जा रही थी, बॉलर ने बाईं तरफ डाइव करके उस कैच को लेने की कोशिश की थी विराट कोहली की। और इस बार फिर से बॉलर ने ऊपर से उठा दिया है, 4 रन लिविंगस्टन की इस गेंद को। और कोहली जानते हैं कि एक ही तरीका है T20 क्रिकेट में कि आप अपने आक्रमण को प्रतिद्वंद्वी की गली में ले जाइए। और तमाम दर्शक जो यहाँ पर मौजूद हैं, पूरा स्टेडियम खचाखच भरा है, प्रसन्न हो गया है जिस तरह चौका लगा है।
Yes, the good thing was that he tried to hit it straight. Next one has been misfielded by Moeen Ali at extra cover, and they scrambled through for 2 before the man from long off could pick up. The interesting thing, once again, that power play. Now, power play, remember, 6 overs you had of 6 deliveries, so 36 deliveries, out of which 17 deliveries were dots. That is almost 50% for dots. So that is something that India have to look at in the larger context of playing T20 cricket.
ये अगली गेंद थी, वो काफी फ्लाइट किया था, इस बार कदमों का इस्तेमाल हाफ वॉली पर लिया, ड्राइव किया ऑन साइड में वाइड मिड ऑन की तरफ, काफी डीप, लेकिन वहाँ पर फील्डर मौजूद, 1 रन लेने का मौका और लिया। अब विराट कोहली पहुंचे 19 रन, रोहित शर्मा खेल रहे हैं 21 रन पर और कुल स्कोर हो गया 46 रन 1 विकेट के नुकसान पर। ये अगली गेंद ऑफ स्टंप के बाहर थी और काफी ज्यादा बाहर। विराट कोहली देख रहे हैं धर्मसेना की तरफ, भाई वाइड दीजिए, लेकिन धर्मसेना ने तुरंत ही अपना मुंह हिला दिया कि नहीं, वाइड नहीं थी और वाइड नहीं दिया गया और उसी के साथ ओवर की समाप्ति। 46 रन 1 विकेट के नुकसान पर, यह है स्कोर।
Yes, that was twice in the over that he let the ball go thinking it was wide. It was well inside those indicative lines that indicate a wide. But, you could see Livingston actually smiled last delivery saying, I fooled you, because he thought that was Rohit actually who left the ball alone, thinking that it was going to be wide, but it wasn't. It was at least 6 inches inside the indicative line. So 2 deliveries that he could have perhaps gone after because they were wide, but left alone. Nevertheless, 46 for 1 then, after 7 overs and 7 runs in that over of that Adil Rashid. And it is going to be, in fact, it is Rashid once again. So, was there... that was Liam Livingston, of course, yes. So, I beg your pardon. Thank you, Jatin. Both leg spinners, that got me fooled a bit. And that was Livingston. Now Rashid into his second over, and the ball has been played away towards long off. So, India 47-1. It's been a steady start. There have been a couple of bright sparks in terms of boundaries hit by Rohit Sharma, and that 6 by...
Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Anuja Kumar with the midday news. The headlines. Campaigning for Himachal Pradesh Assembly polls to end this evening. Notification for second phase of Gujarat Assembly elections issued. BJP releases first list of 160 candidates for the Gujarat Assembly elections. Threats of cyber and information warfare pose a big challenge to the security architecture, says Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. India joins Mangrove Alliance for Climate at the 27th session of the Conference of the Parties at Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt. And in cricket, in the semi-final of T20 Cricket World Cup, match between India and England underway in Adelaide. And now the news in detail. Today is the last day of campaigning for assembly elections in Himachal Pradesh. Campaigning will end at 5 p.m. Star campaigners of all parties have been canvassing to garner votes for their candidates. Voting on all 68 assembly seats will be held on Saturday. Counting of votes will take place on 8th of December. More from our correspondent.
BJP National President Jagat Prakash Nadda, Union Home Minister and senior leaders Amit Shah, Anurag Singh Thakur and Smriti Irani are seeking votes in the name of development by addressing public meetings in favour of party candidates at many places on the last day of campaign today. Similarly, BJP rules state chief ministers and senior leaders Jairam Thakur, Yogi Adityanath, Pushkar Singh Dhami and ex-chief minister Professor Prem Kumar Dhumal are also throwing full force in promoting their candidates. On the other hand, the Congress party is taking out Vijay Ashirwad rallies in all the 68 assembly constituencies of the state today, whereas Congress National General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi is campaigning through Parivatan Pratigya rally at Shillong in Sirmaur district. After that, she will hold a roadshow in Shimla and seek support from the people for the party candidate. Sanjeev Sundariyal, AIR News, Shimla.
In Gujarat, the notification for the second phase of assembly elections is issued today. With this, the process of filing the nomination papers for the second phase has begun. Candidates can file their nominations till 17th of November. The voting for 93 assembly constituencies of Central and North Gujarat will be held on the 5th of December. In the first phase, a total of 12 nomination papers have been filed so far. Meanwhile, the political activities have picked up in the state, with parties releasing the lists of their candidates for the assembly polls. Bharatiya Janata Party today released its first list of 160 candidates for the Gujarat Assembly elections. Senior party leader and Union Minister Bhupendra Yadav announced the name of the candidates. Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel will contest from Ghatlodiya seat, while State Home Minister Harsh Sanghvi will be the BJP candidate from Majura Assembly constituency in the ensuing state assembly polls. The party has fielded cricketer Ravindra Jadeja's wife Riva Ba Jadeja from Jamnagar North and Hardik Patel from Viramgam constituency. Senior BJP leaders including Vijay Rupani, Nitin Patel, Bhupendra Chudasma, Saurabh Patel and R.C. Phaldu will not contest the polls this time, and they will have to be written to the party in this regard. In today's list, the party has changed candidates for 38 assembly seats, which it had won in the 2017 elections. President Draupadi Murmu reached Bhubaneswar today on a two-day visit to Odisha. This is her first visit to the state as the President of India. Ms. Murmu offered her prayers to Lord Jagannath and his siblings in the Sri Jagannath Temple in Puri. Heavy security arrangements had been put in place to ensure that the President can have a smooth darshan of the deities.
The President was accorded a warm welcome on our arrival at the Bhubaneswar airport by the Governor Professor Ganeshi Lal, Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik and the top officials. He was also offered a guard of honor at the airport before flying to the pilgrim town. After being received by the Gajapati Maharaj and other top officials of the district administration at helipad at Puri, the President chose to walk down about 2 kilometers on the Grand Road before reaching the Ratna Singhasana, the heavenly altar of the deities. He was accompanied by Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan and other dignitaries. Girish Chandra Das, AIR News, Puri.
Tomorrow, the President will visit Tapoban High School in Bhubaneswar and interact with students and teachers. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says the gap between internal and external security is getting narrower. However, new dimensions of security threats are emerging. He said threats of cyber and information warfare pose a big challenge to the security architecture. Speaking at the convocation ceremony of the National Defence College in Delhi today, Mr. Singh said the critical infrastructure such as power generation, transport, public sector and critical manufacturing industries are vulnerable to cyber attacks.
Just a few decades ago, power grids and other critical infrastructure operated in isolation. Now they are far more interconnected both in terms of geography and across sectors. Energy sector is one of the main targets of the cyber attack against critical infrastructure, but it is not the only one. Transport, public sector services, telecommunications, and critical manufacturing industry are also vulnerable.
On the challenge of information warfare, the Defence Minister said it has a potential to threaten the country's political stability.
There is no count of how much fake news and hate material is to be brought in the society through social media platforms. The organized use of social media and online content generation platforms is being used for engineering the opinion or perspective of the masses. The deployment of information war was most evident in the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine.
India has joined the Mangrove Alliance for Climate MAC at the 27th session of the Conference of the Party COP27 at Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt. After joining the alliance, India called for integration of mangroves conservation with the reducing emissions from deforestation and forest degradation REDD+ programs for carbon sequestering. MAC, an intergovernmental alliance that seeks to expand and hasten the progress towards conservation and restoration of mangrove ecosystems. India is among the first 5 countries to join the MAC, including Australia, Japan, Spain, and Sri Lanka. The alliance will raise global awareness about the role of mangroves as a nature-based climate change solution. It will ensure the rehabilitation of mangrove forests at a global level. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal today highlighted the significant growth of the India-US economic relations driven by the common interest of promoting sustainability, emerging technologies, globally resilient supply chains and small businesses. He also reiterated the importance of such dialogues in leveraging this momentum. Mr. Goyal was chairing the India-US CEO Forum with US Secretary of Commerce Gina Raimondo through video conferencing today. CEOs from leading Indian and US-based companies participated in the forum. This is the 6th time that the forum has been convened since its reconstitution in December 2014. It continues to be an effective platform for dialogue across key sectoral themes and to identify areas for closer collaboration for mutual benefit of both the economies. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
Northeast Diary program broadcast every Thursday and Sunday at 5:30 p.m. brings very interesting and enchanting stories from the 8 Indian states of Northeast India. In this week's Northeast Diary, on 10th of November 2022, we bring for you an exclusive interview with Jatendra Sharma, Director of the Kaziranga National Park. Looking forward to see you there.
Welcome back to the Midday News. 2-tier Panchayat elections in Sikkim is being conducted smoothly today. Polling for Gram Panchayat wards and Zilla Panchayat territorial constituencies began today at 8 a.m. and will conclude at 5 p.m. The elections are not being contested on political lines and 50% candidature is reserved for women at both levels.
Till 12 p.m., voting percentage in Sikkim Panchayat polls was 41.6% in Gangtok district, 19.3% in Pakyong, 43.3% in Mangan, 50% in Gazing, 38% in Soreng, and 43.6% in Namchi. Of the 1,147 Gram Panchayat wards, 695 are going to polls, excluding 448 wards which are declared uncontested. Also, 4 wards are scheduled for repoll. Similarly, of the 122 Zilla Panchayat territorial constituencies, election is being conducted in 102 territorial constituencies as 19 are uncontested and 1 constituency is scheduled for repoll. Voting will conclude at 5 p.m. with Diliram Dulal from Gangtok for AIR.
In Kerala, the United Democratic Front UDF obtained an edge in the by-elections held in 29 local bodies of 7 districts in the state. UDF candidates have maintained a lead in 16 local bodies, while UDF-backed independent candidate had won a seat. Meanwhile, Left Democratic Front LDF has ensured victory in 11 seats and BJP won 2 seats. The Delhi unit of BJP today launched its manifesto for the upcoming MCD elections. It promises to give Pakka houses to all slum dwellers and strengthen the civic body, besides ensuring proper disposal of garbage. Delhi BJP President Adesh Gupta and Party MP Manoj Tiwari jointly released the manifesto for the polls in New Delhi. Our correspondent reports that elections to the MCD will be held on 4th of December, and counting of votes will be held on 7th December. The government's authentic documents exchange platform DigiLocker can now be used as a health locker for storing and accessing health records such as vaccination records, doctors' prescriptions, lab reports and hospital discharge summaries. This has been made possible after the DigiLocker completed its second level of integration with the Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission ABDM. The latest integration will now enable users to utilize DigiLocker as a personal health records app. In addition to this, Ayushman Bharat health account holders can also link their health records from different ABDM registered health facilities like hospitals and labs and access them via DigiLocker. Users can also scan and upload their old health records on the app. Further, they can share select records with ABDM registered healthcare professionals. Indian Railways has completed over 82% electrification of its complete broad gauge network. Out of over 65,000 route kilometers of the network, more than 53,000 route kilometers have been electrified till last month. Indian Railways has embarked upon an ambitious plan of electrification of its complete broad gauge network